Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up, roll up. Here we have the king of beef and potato stews. This is really lovely. I love this one. Takes a little while to cook, but it's delicious. Middle Eastern, Arab flavors going on in there, just packed with flavor. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. Okay, let's get straight in on this one. What I've got there is 1.5 kilos of stewing beef. So 1.5 kilos, about 3 pounds. So this is not the best quality beef. You really do need to stew this one out, and we're gonna get some spices on it, and we're gonna add it to a pressure cooker to get it super tender. So here we go. Look, I've got cinnamon, a dried chili. In here, I've got a teaspoon of cumin seeds, black peppercorns, 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, and some green cardamom. How many have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 there. In they go. And then we're gonna add a teaspoon each of dried thyme, cumin, chili powder, and turmeric. So in all that goes as well. We're gonna add salt. We're then gonna add some black pepper powder. I'm gonna grab a glove, we're gonna give that a little mix, and we're gonna just boil it up. So I just gave that a little mix up there, as you can see. Pressure cooker here. We're simply gonna add some water to that. There's about 2 cups of water there. That's gonna go on, so we're gonna get the lid on here. Give it a pressure for about, I mean, it's always, every pressure cooker is actually different, you know, so I'm gonna go in my pressure cooker for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so we've done 2 great things there. We've pumped loads of flavor into our meat, and we've made it really nice and tender. Now, if you don't have a pressure cooker, you can just boil it, but you're gonna be boiling it in a pot for like an hour to get the same result. So what I've done there is I've strained the meat off from the water. Keep both, we're gonna need both. And inside all the spices have still remained with the meat. Let me show you some other ingredients, then we're gonna get back to the cooker. So we have here 3 cups of tomatoes. Now what I've done with my tomatoes is I've put them into a food processor to get them nice and small. If you don't have a food processor, just cut your tomatoes as small as you can. 2 cups of onions, 150 grams, or about 1/2 cup, I suppose there, of tomato paste, a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, and then in here we have 1 teaspoon of green cardamom powder, 1 teaspoon of black lemon or black lime powder, and 2 teaspoons of coriander. Now I know I'm going to get a few questions about this. So there is black lime powder. These are black limes. So they're literally dried limes. So you can use a whole one if you want. If you're going to use whole one, you would have put it in with the pressure cooker. But we're going to go for powder. So you're going to need a large pot or something like that. I use this kind of wok-y type thing because it's just much easier for you guys to see what's happening. I've got 4 tablespoons of olive oil in there. The heat's on, above medium, just put that on. And we're gonna put in the onion and the tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Now ginger garlic paste is a 50-50 mix of the 2. You can buy it in many stores depending on where you live, or you can make it yourself. Or if you don't want to make the paste, just get some ginger, equal amounts to garlic, and just chop it as small as you can. Okay, about 4 minutes, like I say, above medium heat here. Fabulous stuff. Now, of course, I didn't show you that earlier, but we are going to be adding some potatoes to this, big chunky potatoes. Now we're going to add the tomato paste. And staying on this heat, we need to go for about another 3 or 4 minutes. We need to kind of cook the paste out a little bit. Keep it moving pretty much all the time now. Next up, we're going to add in the fresh tomatoes. We're going to add a little bit of salt to that, and we're going to add in our powders. So we've got 1 teaspoon of the black lime, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, and 2 of coriander powders. Again, stay on this fairly lively heat, and let's go for 5 minutes now, giving it a stir every now and then. Really delicious. Okay, next up we're going to get the beef with all the spices that we pressure cook them in. And again, about another 4 or 5 minutes. Again, give it a stir every now and then. Beautiful. Fabulous. Okay, potato time. So here's my potatoes. Nice and big, really chunky fellas these are. Cut them smaller if you want, but I like them really big in here. And to that we're going to add the water that we boiled the meat in, because that's got loads of lovely flavour in it. Let's get that in first. Let's give that a little stir. Medium heat now, and you can get a lid on this. You need to let this go. I mean, the size of these potatoes is quite big, so medium heat, lid on. For me, it's going to be about 10 or 12 minutes. You know what we're looking for now? We're looking for those potatoes to be tender. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that is good. Those potatoes are cooked perfectly now. Of course, that beef is going to be, you know, melt in the mouth, delicious. Check that for salt. I'm super happy. Let's serve that. So you can see what I've done is I've taken the actual beef and put that into center, put the potatoes around the edge, and put a little bit of cilantro or coriander, whatever you call that, on top. That is magnificent. Have a look at this. Just have a look at this. Look. Wow, 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 wow. Totally fall off the bone lamb, cooked in the most amazing aromatics. Cooked this for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. This is absolutely delicious. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. So what we're looking at here is some absolutely wonderful lamb. There's 2 kg, that's just over 4 pounds. There's quite a lot there. I'm using a leg here, and it's quite chunky cut. There's very little bone. It's mostly incredibly beautiful meat. Let's season that up. So we're going to go with salt and pepper. There's about 3 teaspoons of each there. We're going to go a teaspoon. Let's take a look here. Thyme, cinnamon powder, nutmeg, green cardamom powder. 2 teaspoons each. Coriander, cumin, chili powder. What a lovely combo. We're then going to add 2 cups of sliced onion. 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. Fresh green chili, I'm adding about 7, and I'm putting them in just whole like that. And 1 cup of oil, I'm using olive oil, in that goes. We now need to get in there and give that a good mix. I'm actually feeling quite excited about this one today. This is going to be absolutely wonderful. If you want, you could shrink wrap that, cling film it, or plastic wrap it and put it in the fridge for at least an hour, hour or 2, or you can go straight ahead to the cooker. I'm going to go for a couple of hours in the refrigerator. Okay, so obviously a large pan, because we've got a lot of meat here. And like I say, this has been in the refrigerator now a couple of hours. We're now going to drop it. I'm just loosening it, by the way, from the container. We're going to drop it all in here. We're on a below medium heat. You don't want this high at all. Below medium. And we're going to go for 8 to 10 minutes, stirring fairly often. Got some nice colour on there, and it's well on its way, but yeah, Still a long way to go. Next up, we're going to add 3 cups of fresh tomato. Try and use a nice juicy tomato. And we're going to go again for maybe 6 or 7 minutes here on this fairly gentle heat. Just cook those fresh tomatoes down first. Give it a stir every now and then, of course. Bloody marvellous, this is. So you can see that our tomatoes are cooking down really nicely there, and have produced quite a bit of moisture. Now we're going to add some liquid now. I'm using a stock. I'm actually using chicken stock today. You could use a beef stock, a lamb stock, a vegetable stock, or just water if you want. I mean, there's a lot of flavour in there, but I am going with stock. So we're going to go quite a lot of this. It's about 1.5 litres there. So you can see that we've covered that all up. Now, low, nice simmer, low, 1 hour minimum. I think I'm actually going to go for maybe 1.5 hours. Okay, off goes the heat. That's 1.5 hours, just over actually. Have a look at this. Just have a look at this. Look. Wow. That is so good. You could have gone for 2 hours maybe if you wanted. Look at those bones just showing there. Oh man, that is so good. Check it for salt. It's going to be good for me. If you wanted, get some cilantro or coriander on that, but I'm just going to go just like that. That is amazing. So as you can hear, I'm quite excited about that, and I really am. I'm really excited about this one. That is perfect if you ask me. I mean, perfect. Rice, of course, if you want some roti bread or something like that, if you like. But yeah, that is a good one. Probably the best breakfast in the world, isn't it? This is a shakshuka, loads of ways of making it. The way I've made it today is obviously with eggs. Some people scramble their eggs into the tomato. I've put mine in whole. I've got chili and I've got feta on my one. You can really play around with this. It's a classic, it's beautiful, it's tasty, and it doesn't take that long. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. Okay, so you can see here, I've got about 3 cups here of tomatoes. Try and use a nice ripe, juicy tomato if you can. Cut nice and small. 2 cups of onion, again, cut small. Tablespoon of garlic, that might just be a little bit over actually. Teaspoon of salt and pepper and chili powder, and 2 teaspoons of cumin powder. Let's get started. So in my pan there, I've got some oil. I'm using a sunflower oil. You could use a different oil if you want, of course. About 3 tablespoons. We're going to start off by dropping in our 2 cups of onion and our garlic. We are on slightly below medium heat. We're going to go for about 4 minutes or so. Stir often. Beautiful. Next up, we're going to grab our tomatoes, like 3 cups of tomato, fresh tomato. Get that in. And then let's just take a look at these again. So a teaspoon each salt, pepper, chili, 2 of cumin. And stay on this kind of, gentle heat. We're not going crazy here. We want to go for about 7 or 8 minutes now. We really need to cook these tomatoes right down. You might get a bit of moisture from them as well if you use the nice juicy one. Stir often. Really fabulous. You can see we've really cooked these down now. Now we're going to get the heat onto a simmer, really low. Now just flatten this out. And then we're going to drop in some eggs. I'm going to use 4 eggs. And I like to add a little bit of feta cheese, 4 pieces, to equal the eggs. Then we're going to get a lid on this, and then you can just cook it how you like your eggs. I mean, I like mine fairly well done, so lid on, really nice and low. I'm going to go for maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. Job done, it's beautiful. Okay, off goes the heat. Let's get the lid off and have a look. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Let me get rid of this lid. That looks absolutely wonderful. Like I say, you can get your eggs done a little bit more or less, that's up to you. I'm happy. Now I've just topped mine off with a little bit of sweet paprika there, and you can see some fresh chili. This is quite a spicy household, so we like that in there. If you want, maybe just omit that and put a little bit of parsley or cilantro or coriander on the top, that's up to you. But that is a lovely, beautiful breakfast. Pop that in the middle of the table, get some bread, some nice kubus or something, tuck in, fantastic. Hello, not going to keep you long today. This is absolutely fabulous. We're going to make some beet or beetroot hummus. Okay, so I've got 3 cups here of cooked beets, 2 cups of cooked chickpeas, 1/4 cup tahini or tahina, 1/4 cup olive oil, teaspoon salt and pepper, teaspoon maybe-ish of garlic, and about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, you can change all of this to get it exactly how you like. Let's get to the food processor. Okay, so we've got our food processor there. I've put the beetroot in, and my assistant Axum is here. Axum, do you want to put in the salt and pepper? Okay. In that goes. And then do you want to put a little bit of garlic in? Great. The lemon juice. Nice one, matey. And then the chickpeas. That's a bit of a big one, isn't it? Oh, good job, good job, good job. Okay, let me do the olive oil. Now try and use a nice quality olive oil. This is a nice extra virgin olive oil. And then we've got the tahina. You're going to try and do that? Shall I help you? Because it's a bit sticky. Let me do it. And then the tahina or the tahini, in it goes. And like I say, you can just really adjust all of the amounts. I like quite a lot of tahina in there. What we're going to do now is give that a whiz. Okay, so I let that go for like just 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, you can get it smoother than that if you want. What you need to do, I mean, it does look amazing first of all, doesn't it? Axum, do you want some of my raspberry ice cream?
No, thank you.
No? That's divine, I love that. What you need to do now, adjust it. Do you want a bit more olive oil? Do you want some more lemon in there? Do you want more tahini in there? Also, fresh cilantro or coriander, get that in the mix if you fancy that. Fresh mint, amazing, beautiful stuff. Okay, and there you go. Look, I've just served mine with some tortilla chips. Great with some pita bread or something. Now, if you wanted, I'm keeping this vegan, if you wanted a nice dollop of a Greek yogurt on there, like a sheep's yogurt could work really nicely, or you could even blend that in at the same time. I'm keeping it just like that. It's simple, it's delicious, lots of love. Okay, so today we're going to make this beautiful, and it's really simple, chicken stew with chickpeas, cumin, tomatoes. Wow, it's lovely. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. Okay, so this is really simple and really beautiful. So here I've got chicken. I've got chicken 1 kg, which is 2.2 pounds. Now that chicken has skin on it and bone in. I've cut it into fairly large pieces, you know, cut it smaller if you want. 3 cups here of fresh tomatoes. Now I've put my tomatoes into a food processor to get them nice and small. You don't have to do that if you don't want, just cut them really small. 1 cup of onions, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 3 teaspoons of cumin powder, 2 teaspoons chili powder, garlic, there's about 6 or 7 cloves there that I've sliced up, and 2 cups of cooked chickpeas. Let's get moving. Okay, so in this large pan, you're going to need a large skillet pan or my kind of woky thing that I use. I've got 4 tablespoons of olive oil. The heat's on, I'll just put that on, just on medium. We're going to drop our chicken in, and for about 6 or 7 minutes on a medium heat, we're just going to cook the chicken, get a nice bit of colour on it. You can see the sort of size that I've cut this. Very simple and very beautiful, this dish. So we've got a nice bit of colour on there. Now get those 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds in the mix. One cup or 1 decent size onion, and tablespoon or so of sliced or chopped garlic, up to you. While I'm here, let's get some salt in the mix, along with some black pepper. Nice couple of big pinches for me. And then we're going to go for about another 4 to 5 minutes on this medium heat. We'll have this done in absolutely no time. It's fantastic and really delicious. Really beautiful. Okay, next up we're going to drop in the 2 cups of chickpeas that are cooked already, of course. Now, if you're going to use them from a can like I did, give them a nice rinse through in some cold water. Now we're going to add the 3 cups of fresh tomatoes. To that we're going to add the cumin powder and the chili powder. Stay on a medium heat and let this go now for 8 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then. We really want to cook those tomatoes out. Really fabulous. We've nearly done it. Off goes the heat. That is absolutely beautiful. Check that for salt. It's going to be fine for me. Bit of cilantro or coriander in there, whatever you call that. That's a winner dinner. Well done, everyone. You've just made yourself a really beautiful cumin tomato chicken. Really fantastic that is. That's perfect with some rice, just some plain rice, or maybe just with some roti or chapati or something like that. Hi, how you doing? Not going to keep you long today. This is very simple. This is green beans cooked in oil. Lubia means, or is one word for green beans, and zait meaning oil. Very simple. Vegan and vegetarian. Welcome back to How to Cook Green. So I've got about 3 cups of French beans or green beans there. 1 cup of tomato, 1 cup of onion, tablespoon of garlic, that's about, I don't know, 5 or 6 cloves sliced, and a teaspoon of cumin powder. So in there I've got about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, which I'm heating up. We're going to start off by dropping in our beans, and we're just going to fry them. I'll just put the heat on, but we're on an above medium heat. We're going to go for about 4 minutes. Okay, so just soften those a little bit. We're going to go in with that 1 cup of onion and our sliced garlic, black pepper, salt. Stay on this lively heat and go for another 3 minutes. Wonderful. We're now going to add in that 1 cup of tomato chopped and teaspoon of cumin, and again we're going to go for another 3 to 4 minutes. We want those tomatoes to break down a little bit. Okay, and off goes the heat, and that is done. Okay, and there you go. Really simple green beans in olive oil. So we've got some chicken here with green beans and tomatoes. This is really delicious. Welcome back to How to Cook Green. Okay, so I've got 500 grams there, or a pound, of chicken thighs, 6 pieces. Skin is off, bone is in. So I've got some oil in there. I'm using the olive oil. Use a different oil if you want. Very simply, we're going to drop our chicken pieces in. Like I say, there's 6 pieces here, 400 grams, which is about a pound. No skin, bone in. And then what we're going to do is very simply going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper now. We're on a medium heat, nothing too high. You don't want it too high at all. And we're going to go for about 8 minutes. I'll be turning them over, nice and gently cooking them. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this chicken out for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're next going to go straight in here with some onion and some other ingredients, but our onion first. Here I've got 1 cup of sliced red onion. And again, stay on this, you know, fairly low heat, nothing crazy. We're going to go for 3 minutes. Fantastic, so those onions are just taken. We're now going to go in with about a tablespoon of garlic, maybe just less actually. And again, go for 2 minutes. Nice. Okay, a little bit more salt and pepper to taste. We did season the chicken. We're then going to go with 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of oregano, or oregano, as so many of you call that, and 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika. Smoked paprika also, really nice. Here I've got 400 ml, or a regular size can of tomatoes. This was a whole plum tomato, and I just sort of crushed it up in my hand. A little mix here. Again, we're staying on this nice gentle heat. We're then going to take our chicken and we're going to reintroduce that. We're going to take our beans, which we just slightly cooked, you know what I mean? Just give them a little blast for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to use some water, but if you want, you could use some stock, maybe some chicken stock or something, but water's good. Just like so. Lid's going to go on. That's going to go for about another 6 or 7 minutes. Okay, off goes the heat. Off comes the lid. Let me get that steam out. That looks absolutely wonderful. Check it for salt. It's going to be great, I think. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chicken out just to serve it. So I'm going to take the chicken out, put the sauce on the plate and put the chicken back on the top. See you in a minute. Just top that off with a little bit of parsley. Beautiful stuff. You can have that with rice or with potatoes. It's entirely up to you. Maybe some bread. Hello, how you doing? So we've got some chicken on the go today. We've got coriander garlic chicken, just pan fried, really simple, on a bed of beautiful lentils. Really easy, delicious, kind of Middle Easternish vibe, I suppose. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. So let's get these lentils together. So I've got these brown lentils here, cooked them. What I've done is I soaked them for about 4 or 5 hours and I just cooked them for 30 minutes. You can put salt in the water if you want, I didn't. 3 cups, 2 cups of onions, 1 cup of tomato, tablespoon of garlic, and 2 teaspoons of cumin. Let's get moving. So I'm using corn oil, but you can change the oil to something else if you want. I've got about 3 tablespoons there. We're going to drop in the couple of cups of onion, the garlic, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. We're on an above medium heat and we're going to go for about 4 minutes or so. Very simple. Next up, we're going to drop in that 1 cup of tomato, the couple of teaspoons of cumin, and we're going to go for about another 4 or 5 minutes. Let those tomatoes kind of break down a little bit. And then simply we're going to add in our cooked, or 3 cups of cooked brown lentils, and stir in pretty much all the time now. We're going to go for about 3 minutes. Very, very simple, beautiful, easy lentils here for our chicken. Really fabulous. Off goes the heat. I'm now going to add 1 cup here of cilantro or coriander, whatever you call that. In it goes. We can set this aside, we can move on. Okay, so I've got some oil in there, a couple of tablespoons. This is corn oil, but change the oil if you want. Here's our chicken, let's get it in. Now we're on a medium heat, or just slightly above a medium heat. Now I've got chicken there with bone and skin. That's 1 kg chicken, that's 2.2 pounds. So just in the oil, let's just cook it for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then we'll start adding a few bits. Okay, so you can see that chicken's coming along nicely. We're now going to add salt. Black pepper. About a tablespoon of garlic. And a tablespoon of coriander powder. What I've done with that was a seed, and I ground it up. It's much, much nicer than you buy it just in a packet already ground. We're going to continue cooking now for about another 5 or 6 minutes, stirring off, and I might turn the heat down a little bit, I think. Really simple chicken. Okay, off goes the heat, job done. Beautiful garlic coriander chicken there. And then what I've done is serve that chicken on top of those lentils. That's a beautiful dish. Stick that in the middle of the table, maybe a bit of salad or something. Hello, how you doing? So we're making this today. We've got some beautiful buttered rice under there, a nice basmati rice, and some fish with some beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, fantastic, I've run out of words, fish. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. Okay, so let's have a look at our fish. Our fish is a dory fish. It was a frozen dory fillet fish. You can use any type of fish you want, actually, entirely up to you, with bones or without. You can do the same if you want. Now, I've got quite a lot here. You probably don't want to make as much as this. You might want to go half of this, actually, because I've got 4 decent sized fillets. So there's about 5 or 6 cups worth right there. What we're going to do is we're going to get these guys onto the fish, massage it on, and then we're going to give it a fry. So we've got a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, garam masala powder, turmeric, chili, cumin, and coriander. And then here I've got 2 tablespoons of garlic ginger paste. Simply, all of that goes on, little massage. So I've just popped this into a bigger bowl so I can kind of get in there. I've got a glove on because I don't want to get all the spices, especially the turmeric, on my hands. You can see I've cut this kind of, nice and chunky. So let's get the salt and pepper on. Let's get our spices and take one more look. So a teaspoon each. Garam masala powder, turmeric, chili, cumin, and coriander. On that goes. And then a couple of tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, which is a 50-50 mix of the two. I'm going to get in and I'm going to gently give that a little rub around. Okay, so I've got some oil in there. I've got about 3 centimeters. Now you can shallow fry this if you want. I'm going to go for a bit more of a deeper fry. I'm using the sunflower oil, getting it nice and hot. What we're going to do is we're going to just check it out. That's good. So in goes the fish. Now I've got quite a lot of fish here, so I'm going to batch fry it. I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm probably going to do this in probably 3 lots. It's going to take me. Like I said, I'm using quite a lot of fish here. Now this is a really light fish. It will cook really quickly. So we're going to go just for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then we're going to take it out, put it onto some kitchen towel, and then we can move on. There you go, like 5 or 6 minutes. Take a look at that, beautiful. Got lovely spices on there. Going to get that out, get it onto some tissue paper, and then I'm going to repeat. Okay, and there's our fish done. Let's move on to our rice. So in there I have 3 cups of basmati rice, which I've washed about 3 or 4 times, rinsed it through some cold water, give it a little kind of rub between my hands. And I've got 6 cups of water, so double the amount of water to the rice. The heat is on. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of turmeric, a little bit of bay leaf, and then just 4 green cardamoms. Now, if you want, think about adding some cloves, some whole black lime, cinnamon, things like that. You know, you can kind of spice it up a bit more like that, keeping it really nice and simple. What we're going to do is bring this to the boil. Going to get the lid on. It's going to cook for about 8 minutes. Okay, so off goes the heat. Let's take a look. And there we go. We've got lovely, perfect rice. Now what I'm going to do is just, with the lid off, just let it sit for a couple of minutes. Beautiful. Just turning the rice over. Now, I've got here 2 tablespoons of butter, which I've just slightly melted in the microwave. Very gently, we're going to turn that in. You could use ghee if you want. I'm going for butter today. And then I'm going to get this on a plate. So I've plated the rice, and here I've got some fried onions, crispy fried onions, which I'm going to put over the top. Now to do these, you can just cut them nice and thin, and then just fry them in some hot oil, then let them cool down. Or you can buy, I think you can buy them actually like kind of fried already in some places. And then simply, we're going to go with our fish, placing it on the top. Okay, and there you go, beautiful. If you want, get some chopped cilantro or coriander or parsley on the top of that. Hello, how you doing? Look, today we're going to make this tikka. This is made with black lemon or black lime. I'm using beef. You can use lamb if you want. Some people use lamb, but I'm going with beef. Very famous in Bahrain. Very, very famous, in fact, in Bahrain. It's known as Bahraini tikka. Originally, it's from Iran, I think. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. So I've got some fabulous beef here, really, really nice cut. And what I've done is I've cut it into kind of small pieces like so. And on that side is the fat that come off of the outer there, you can see. So I've cut that off and cubed that as well, because this is really important for what we're going to be doing today. It's really simple, this, but delicious. So I've got like 3 cups there in total of this beef, and you can see I've cut it into this kind of sort of size. You see that there? Nice little cubes. You want it kind of quite small. And then we've got the fat, which I've cut in about the same size. This is really important because when it goes on the skewers, you need that fat. It's a really big thing. Now what we're going to do is add some salt and pepper. For this amount, I've got just over a teaspoon each. I've got some lemon or lime juice. It's up to you. I've got about 3 tablespoons there. About a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Try and use a nice quality oil. And then we've got our black lemon powder, which is a wonderful thing. It's the big flavour in this, of course. We're just going to get that all in there. What we're going to do is give that a mix up. Some people would put a bit of garlic in this or something like that. I think it's unnecessary, but that's up to you. We're going to mix this up. Back in a moment. So I'll just show you the black lemon or black lime powder, which is right in there. Or you can get it whole. This is it whole here. It's literally a dried lime or lemon. So that's the powder form of that. That's probably going to be easier for you to get, depends on where you live. Now, these whole, what you can do with them, if you're making like kabsa or machbush or something like that, you can pop them in the rice while you're cooking. Gives a really beautiful, beautiful flavor. But there you go, that's black lime. So if you could leave this covered, you know, with some shrink wrap, plastic wrap, cling film, whatever you call that, in the fridge for at least 2 to 3 hours overnight, fabulous. You're going to get a really beautiful flavour. What we're going to do is we're simply just going to put it onto some metal skewers and we're going to barbecue it. The technique here is with the fat is you put like 3 or 4 pieces of meat, 1 piece of fat. It depends, up to you, but you know, a little bit of fat in there really helps it cook along beautifully. Okay, so you're going to need some metal skewers, but this metal skewer that we're looking at now is not what we want. This is more, you know, just for kind of regular kind of kebab. What we want are these guys. They're very sturdy, they're thin. If you can get those, that's going to work better. So you can see that I've placed that on the skewers. Now don't put it on too tight, and you can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, bit of fat, 1, 2, 3, bit of fat. The fat in there is really, really going to help this cook beautifully. Ready for the charcoal now. Okay, there you go. Absolutely delicious. I mean, that really is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful, tender. Cook it nice and small like that. You can do it smaller even if you want. And it's the fat in between that makes the big difference. Hope you enjoy that. Keep safe, keep well. I'll see you soon. Lots of love. Hello, how you doing? Look, today we're going to make some molokhia. I'm probably not saying that right. It's probably, my accent's a little bit weird, isn't it? But it's an Egyptian soup. It's a vegetable. We've got butter, we've got garlic, we've got some lovely stock. It is delicious. I really love this. Welcome back to How to Cook Great. So we're going to get started off here by making a nice chicken broth. If you want, you can just use chicken stock, but this is a better way. You can see I've got a chicken in there. That's a 1 kg, 2.2 pound chicken, whole, just in some water. We're going to add salt and pepper, like 2 teaspoons each. We're going to add 5 green cardamom pods and 5 cloves. We're going to add in a little bit of bay and then some onion, like, you know, I've just chopped up 2 small onions. In they go. Heat's going to go on. We're going to get a lid on that. We're going to cook that for 45 minutes. So while our chicken is boiling away there, let's just take a look at what I'm using today. I'm using frozen chopped molokhia. Just really convenient. This is the brand. This is the Lulu, which is a supermarket in the region that I live. I've got 400 grams there, 2 packets, so 800 grams. So I've just taken it out of the package. You can see it's chopped and frozen like that. And we're going to put it in frozen, so no need to thaw it out or anything. So our chicken is cooking away there. Now, if you don't want to do this whole chicken process, what you can do is you could use some of these, you know, like Maggi cubes or something, Knorr cubes or whatever, stock cubes basically. It's not quite the same. In fact, it's not the same really at all. So you could just opt out of the whole chicken and then use these. If you're going to use these, I probably wouldn't add salt in. Like, add all the rest of the ingredients, but not salt, because they're packed with salt. This is a kind of second class option. What we're doing is the supreme first class 5-star route. Okay, so off goes the heat. I've just taken the lid off that as well. Now what we need to do now is take the chicken out. I'm going to use the chicken for another recipe, something like that, like a nice chicken salad or something once it cools down. And then we need to fish out everything, so we just end up with the water. Back in a moment. So I've fished out pretty much most of it. If there's a few bits in there, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. So we're now going to take our frozen molokhia and we're going to chop that in. And we're going to cook this on just a medium heat, or even just below a medium heat, for about 10 minutes. It needs to kind of obviously defrost itself, and it will thicken. So we're going to get a wooden spoon and we're going to be working this in on a kind of, you know, like I say, medium heat, just below medium heat, until it kind of all dissolves, and it will make a beautiful, beautiful molokhia for us. So this is just starting to break down, as you can see. Now, why am I using frozen molokhia? Well, basically because of convenience. Where I am as well, it's fairly seasonal. It's not always available fresh. It's great frozen. It's just that chopped frozen. There's nothing added to it. So yeah, you can just get it out your freezer, grab hold of it and stick it in like this. But yeah, it's like I say, more of a convenience thing than anything else. And availability. Okay, let me keep stirring away on this. You can see it's melting down. It's going to be really delicious, this. So the consistency is completely up to you. You can have it really thin. This is fairly thin. You can have it much, much thicker than this. It's entirely up to you. Now, as the molokhia cooks in there, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not water, it's slightly slimy. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've put a little bit of cornstarch in there, or maybe the same kind of vibe you will get from okra, you know, the kind of sliminess there. So it kind of adds a little bit of thickness to it. Okay, off goes the heat. Let's set that aside, one more step. But I'm happy there. And like I say, you can have it a lot thinner than that, or thicker. It's up to you, but I'm going right there. So we've just set that aside for a moment, and we're just going to do our garlic and butter. I've got a very small pan here, and I've got 2 tablespoons of butter there, which on a nice low heat, we're going to melt down. So that's just melting down. We're now going to add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic. And we're going to gently cook this until it changes colour. The amount of garlic, the amount of butter, entirely up to you. I might be adding a bit more butter to this, by the way. There's a lot of garlic there, but we'll see. Okay, off goes the heat. Now this is all frothing up, but if I grab a spoon here, we can have a look. We need our garlic to be looking like that sort of thing, you know? Nice and toasty like that. Okay, back with the molokhia. Okay, so we're back on the heat with the molokhia like this, and like I say, thickness is entirely up to you. And then if you're in a decent or fancy Egyptian restaurant, they'll pour this from an absolutely great height into the molokhia and backwards and forwards. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to tip it in and then mix it in basically, but they will pour it from an absolutely huge height and make a big spectacle of it, which I'm not going to do. In that goes. Just grabbing a ladle here. So we're just going to pour in to the pan to get it all out. Like so. And we've done it. That is absolutely delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious stuff. But yeah, if you go to an Egyptian restaurant or a decent one, it's a sight to see, really. It's an incredible thing that they do. And this stuff is really super. And there you go, there's molokhia for you. I love it. Just a lovely, beautiful soup, delicious stuff. Hope you enjoyed that. Keep safe, keep well. I'll see you soon. Lots of love. Thank you so much for stopping by and making it to the end of the videos. If you would like to donate to me, there's a thanks button in most countries. You can give me $2 or up to $50. I need to buy a new Ferrari. Come on, help me out.